Okay, I'm going to do another video on, check my sounds, yeah, that's all good. All right, we do another video on this assignment for Year 11 General Maths. We're going to be looking at option 4, the bank car loan. You are allowed in this part to use home loan calculators, and you need to do a little bit of research, find some loans, and decide what you're going to do with them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just look for some car loans. So we need car loans, and we're going to need a car loan calculator. All right. So let's see if we can skip the ads. And okay, they seem to be right. Compare. Okay. Some of these websites will be helpful, some of them not. If they ask you for any information, don't bother with them. Okay, that doesn't have anything. You've got to start putting information in. Let's not do that one. Okay. Let's just go find a car loan. So I'll just go to a website and find out what they got. All right, so CommBank's car loans. All right. All right. No acceptance fee, unsecured fixed rate loans. All right. So, used car. We'll find some information soon. All right, there's some options for you. So you can do a fixed rate loan or variable rate loan. I think we should just stick with fixed rate loan. So we get interest rate. All right. Now, we're going to see if we can borrow. We're going to use this number for this and no acceptance fees, but you do have to pay $15 a month. So take a note of that, and you can add that on at the end. Just be aware that you need to make note of that. So if we're going to take this loan, no fees up front, but we do need to include that as well. All right. So we can just add that on at the end if we're using this loan. All right, so we've got interest rates 8.5%. So I'm going to take my notes here. All right, so you don't have to use that home loan. You can go research your own, but we're going to use this one. This one has no acceptance fee, but you are charged $15 a month extra. All right, so with fees, $15 a month. So we're going to end up adding that on to our monthly repayments. I think that's the easiest way to do it. If we got this, if you got an upfront payment, you could just take that out of your deposit and then work it on this way. All right. So we're going to have $50 a month. So we're going to add $50 a month onto our calculations when we do them in a minute. All right. So the amount borrowed, my car is 16,200. I have a maximum deposit of 2,500. I'm not going to use all of that because I need to be thinking about things like insurance and on-road costs. So I might just take 15,000. So I'll do 16,200 minus 15,000. That'll give me another 1,000 to use for other stuff. Okay, so if I subtract the two of those, yeah, get your calculators out, ready to go. All right, so 16,200 minus 1,500. Oops. All right, so all right, this is what I'm actually going to borrow. All right, so it's a little bit arbitrary what you pick. I wouldn't pick the whole deposit, just mindful of you need to put some money aside for on-road costs and discuss them at somewhere in your assignment. Okay, so that's what we're going to be putting into the home loan calculators. We're going to look at a few options. So I'm going to vary the years. So we said the interest rate was 8.5%. Okay, and we'll go with that one. So, all right. Okay, so next step you need to do is find yourself a car loan calculator. All right. No, this is a home loan one. Let's do a car loan calculator because it's always said 30 years on it. We can't do that. Actually, let's use the one from. Let's go to the one from CommBank. I saw some people using that before. CanStar. Maybe the Westpac one will do. Car loan calculator. All right. Yep, this one should do the job we're looking for. Yes, there we go. All right, let's put in our numbers. So we're going to put in 8.5. Okay, and put in what we've got. So we're borrowing, it was 14,700, I believe. Oops, 700. Okay, and now up to you whether you do weekly, fortnightly, and monthly. But we're going to start with monthly because we're going to make sure we can actually repay it. All right. So I'm going to start with 3 years. So typically a car loan's paid between 3 and 7 years. Usually the common numbers are 4 or 5 years. All right. Now we can see straight away for 3 years. Go here. All right. So 3 years, it'll be what we just got, 485. Now we have to add on the $15 per month. That's 500. Can't afford. It exceeds the amount we have available to pay per month. Cannot. All right, so we can't do 3 years. So let's try this one. 5 years. Go back to your calculator. All right, so let's do 5 years. Okay. That one's going to get very close to exceeding it. You're on the threshold. Yes, I think you're just going to exceed it. Now you can tweak your numbers a little bit. All right, so we can make this work. We would have to tweak what we put in there. So if we actually add that up, okay, back to our Word document. There we go. Okay. So if we add those up, we'd actually have equal to 334. So that's yeah, that's $4 too much. Okay. We can tweak this. So let's add another $100 or deposit. Let's see what happens. So you go back into your calculator, into your home loan calculator, not that one. Okay, so if we put another deposit, we would be down to 600. All right, nope, we need to do, yes. All right, so we need to add another $200 deposit to just break even as far as being able to afford that. So you can afford to do 5 years at that value. All right. So that leaves us a little bit of money on the side. So go back to here one. So add another, let's say $200 deposit. $200 deposit. So that would make our loan. Okay, so monthly repayments for that would be, okay, so what we say 315 plus 15 equals exactly 330. So that's the best you can probably do. I mean, you can make that a little bit cheaper by adding more deposit, but we don't want to go too far into that. So we're doing that. We're down to about $800 to spend on insurance and on-road fees. So just be mindful of that. Now, how do we work out the total repayment? So we're going to take these monthly repayments and we're going to go 330. Okay, we're paying it back for 5 years. So times by 5, times by, so you're paying it 330 per month. And let's have a look what happens. So we do 330 times 5 times 12. Okay. All right. So now you're paying, you took out, was that right? Yes. Okay. So you borrowed, well, actually you borrowed 14,500 and you see in 5 years you've had to pay an extra $4,300 in total, but okay, you pay it off in 5 years. Let's go with, now I'm going to keep my I'm going to keep the loan, so we do 7 years. Just so we can compare 5 and 7, I'm going to stick with the same amount. Because if I change two things, so I'm changing the year and going back to the old loan amount, I can't compare them because I compared two things. I can't draw a conclusion whether it's the loan or the time. It's kind of obvious, but it's good to just change one thing at a time. So we're going to stick with this number, but we are going to change to 7 years. All right. So let's do the monthly payments. I got that. Monthly. Okay, let's type it in. Yep. Okay, let's go with monthly payments. Let's go back to our calculator website. All right, so now we're going to go to 7 years. 7 years is the maximum you can set this out for. Okay, so 246. 246. All right, so 246, add on monthly fees. Okay, equals blah 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 blah. Okay, so what's that? 2 1 carry the 1 and 6. All right. Yep. That's a lower monthly for that. If you think about that, you've got another. I think it ends up being close to $70 back in your pocket. 69, I believe. So you're well under your 330. So that's cool. But let's have a look what happens to the total repayments. Okay, so then you'd have 261 times by 7 times by 12 months in a year equals. All right, so let's punch this in. 261 times 7 times 12. Yeah, now is 21,924. Okay, so you can see, all right, it's a little bit easier on your monthly repayments. You still got loan for 2 more years and you pay more in total because of the extra interest. All right, so you can then draw those sorts of comparisons. You could also do 6 years because that will work. I imagine if we had to squeak 5 years, you're not going to do 4 years. It depends on your numbers. So if you've got a lower cost car or you spend more of the deposit, you might be able to do 4 years in terms of the math. But chances are it's going to be between 5 and 7 years. If you use a higher interest rate, you might not even be able to do 5 years if it's an expensive car. All right, but at least that's how you go about it. So if you don't have a monthly fee, if you had an annual fee, an annual fee, you need to be working that out. Maybe just pay that per month, or if you just have an establishment fee, you pay once. Just work that out at the start. Add that onto how much you have to borrow, minus your deposit, and deal with it that way. Otherwise, yeah. So now you've got some information you can actually show to your client in terms of comparing them. So in this case, we'll compare this loan. How much they have to pay in total versus how much they have to pay each month. Are they going to be living pretty tight for 5 years if they can only afford 330? Or if they do 7 years, well, they have to pay it off for longer. They pay less per month, but more in total. All right, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope that helped.